Reclaim Dreams. Story by Kwame Boatman. This is a work of fiction. Unless otherwise indicated, all the names, characters, businesses, places, events, and incidents in this book are either the product of the author's imagination or used in a fictitious manner. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental. This book is not to be used for commercial purposes. Akwasi Asante had the opportunity to be financially free at the age of 19. After graduating from senior high school, he landed a job as a private basic school teacher in one of the villages in Trifoheman, a typical village with no electricity, pipe-borne water, and a good network for calls. The headmaster quit the job and handed over the responsibility to him. Soon Akwasi was dealing with the people of the village, the parents, the queen mother, and the community elders, including the proprietors. His 35 cedis monthly salary was increased to 40 cedis for the headmaster position. That was in 2011. Akwasi lived in the home of a whistling couple who employed him to handle the school. The verbal agreement was that they would provide him with accommodation and food. He walked to the school, so he wouldn't spend much of his salary on basic needs. After working for the community for some weeks, the people felt he'd done a good job and decided to keep him in the village. One of the village women was sent to make him an offer. "Teacher, we will give you land to farm on. Or if you want to build a house too, we will organize the football team to build it for you. Stay and handle the school for us," the woman said. Akwasi smiled, and the woman quickly added another offer. "We can give you a lady to marry if you want." Akwasi's smile erupted into laughter. He was only 19, relationship stuff hasn't crossed his mind, and this woman is talking about marriage. But the woman didn't seem to be joking, so Akwasi gave her a response. "I'm not that grown up. I'm only 19 years old." Of course, the woman was surprised when Akwasi said he was 19 years old. She first didn't believe him, considering how confidently he handles matters with the parents and elders in the village. Probably it was a way of running away from the offer. But the woman had another point to quickly rebut Akwasi's reason. 19 years doesn't matter. "We have boys here who are 17 but already have children," she said. Akwasi only laughed. "Being a mature woman," she said, "you think about it and give me a response later." The only response was Akwasi leaving the village for vacation and never returning to continue the work. He quit for an office job. The office job didn't require him to go to the bush to sweat. It gave him a room with desks and swivel chairs and a ceiling fan that kept on circulating the heat in the room. All he needed to do was suit up with a flying tie, haul himself to work every morning and return in the evening, and get paid every month through his bank. The societal respect was great. The general acceptance by the family and friends made him feel like he was on the right path to success until reality showed up. He was on a train going to hit the rocks, even though all seemed well. The salary only paid bills initially, but soon he needed loans to support the bills. 3 years into the job, he was burdened with loans. That was when he could have manned up, but he was afraid of what society would say if he walked away. He stayed and piled up debts and stress, building himself a miserable life. About 7 years later, Akwasi was back at the village looking for land to start a goat farm. He didn't get it. The laws of the land don't allow the rearing of goats in the village. Another 7 years later, Akwasi ditched the office job and went nowhere else but the bush to start farming in another village. He said the office job has imprisoned him and he wants to be free. He started vegetable farming and it was promising. He appreciated the learning process, what people call failure, and has been improving every time he fails. After 6 months into his new economic life, he felt liberated and satisfied by the job he's doing. He has been liberated from anticipating an end-of-month salary from the government, his employer, and he has always been watching his plants grow as he waits for his harvest. After a day's work at the farm one day, he sat down to reflect. He could have started this job about 14 years ago and by now be financially free for a long time. Now it seems he is starting his economic life all over again. If I had taken the offer in the village, he whispered to himself, but didn't continue the sentence. He said he was 19, so he couldn't even consider the offer. But at that same age, he took the offer as a headmaster, and as young as he was at that time, he handled the community in such a way that they didn't consider his age anymore. They saw him as an adult and wanted to integrate him into the community. Then the truth gradually dawned on Akwasi. It was the state of his mind about success that made him reject the offer. He wanted an office job in the city, not a bush job in the village. He forgot it was money he would be working for. It took life to change his mindset. About 14 years after rejecting the offer, Akwasi is now in the bush in another village, working to achieve his financial freedom soon. One thing he doesn't regret was rejecting the offer at age 19. He didn't have the mindset to handle that kind of success. Now he spends his energy and resources building an entrepreneurial mindset. This is the end of the story. Hit on the like button if it was interesting to you. Also, if you had any insights from this story, leave it in the comments below. See you in the next video.